you wanted the best, you've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, Voss Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com. Ladies and gentlemen, there are these things that makes official. Welcome to the big show. As always, the Chris Voss Show is a family that loves you and doesn't judge you as harshly as the rest of the world, because you're here to learn, you're here to grow, you're here to make yourself better, and hopefully share that with the world and make the world better. But be sure to share it. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss1, on the TikTokity, and Facebook.com/Chris Voss. As always, for 16 years and 2,500 episodes, we bring in the most smartest people in the world. Damn it. Opinions expressed by guests on the podcast are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the host or the Chris Voss Show. Some guests of the show may buy advertising on the podcast, but it is not an endorsement or review of any kind. Today's featured author comes to us from bookstolifemarketing.co.uk. With expert publishing to strategic marketing, they help authors reach their audience and maximize their book success. Sam, we are bringing you a wonderful young lady today. We're going to be talking about her insights. Her book, out July 22, 2025, is called The Lies, the Truth, and the Food We Eat. Merrill Rounds joins us on the show. We're going to be talking about that. And I, of course, have lived a life where I've learned that the food you eat definitely improves the quality, or maybe, depending on the food you eat, doesn't improve the quality of your life. So be aware, because getting old, you got to take care of this body that you have as a temple. Merrill Rounds grew up in a large family that hunted, gathered, and farmed their own food in the heartland of Ohio. She's an avid reader and researcher, and she was dismayed by the greed that has perverted our food supply. You mean capitalism, unbridled capitalism has greed? Who knew? Was it Ivan Biosky said greed is good? That's the way the world works. She was called to write this book to help others, and she is currently an urban farmer raising chickens for eggs. And she's a mother to 3 successful women. She resides in Cincinnati. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I am great. I'm so happy to be here.
We're so happy to have you, Merrill. Give us your .coms or any place you want, any social media maybe you want people to look you up on.
Oh, if they put in Merrill Rounds, I'm all over the internet.
Talking about diet, probably, and eating stuff that you might do. So give us your 30,000 overview. What's inside your book?
Well, what's inside my book is information about what is actually in our food supply. In 1984, they changed all of our base crops. They put Monsanto supplied the Roundup, and the Roundup was inoculated into all of our base crops. Corn, wheat, soy, alfalfa, sugar beets. So we can't really eat out anywhere without eating Roundup in our food. Our wheat is actually inoculated 3 times. It's inoculated in the seed. It's inoculated when they hit the weeds in the field and kill the weeds, and then they hit it again really hard in order to harvest it. So your flour that you're using, if it's conventional and not organic, is filled with Roundup. They say, oh, it's only trace amounts, but if you've got it in your bread and you've got it in your meat, because of the grain, the corn is fed to the animals and the meat has it in it, and it's in everything we eat that is conventional. Soy, it's in the soybeans, it's in everything. I just came back from a trip from Colorado to Tennessee. Coming across I-90, I saw fields and fields just laying desolate with chemicals laying all over the fields. It was such a horrible sight. My book includes all the foods that we eat and how to get around not eating Roundup or azobicarbonate or all the pesticides. It tells you exactly how to eat clean. And that's what I wanted people to know. The Roundup problem, we can only go backwards. and go to clean seed. Organic farmers or Amish farmers both have clean seed, because the Amish were not mandated to do this. When they did this in 84, they put all the seed sorters out of business. You were not allowed to replant your own seed.
Yeah.
It is a travesty to our diet, because it is, the cancer rates are outrageous. There are over 5,000 people a day are being diagnosed with cancer in the United States.
Yeah, and the big Roundup lawsuit too.
Yeah, the $1 billion lawsuit, and they continue to sell it.
Yeah.
And it's the reason is because in our food supply, you can put anything on the shelf, and unless you can prove that it is bad for you, get a lawyer and document and try to prove that it's bad for you and get money for it. You can't do that because you're so busy trying to get healed from what they fed you.
Oh, yeah.
It is a tragedy. All the other countries in the world, they've got to prove that this product is good for the human body. But not in the United States. No, we have to prove it to them. And this is a real detrimental to our food supply.
Yeah, making sure you get that healthy, quality food is so important, and everything else. You know, I lived. I kind of alluded to this at the beginning, but I lived pretty horribly most of my life when it came to what I was putting into my body. I was drinking 10 to 15 Mountain Dews a day, drinking vodka at night for 20 years, and I was eating out like all the time, like Taco Bell, all the nastiest places you can imagine. And one day I just finally broke. I was near 400 pounds and I felt like shit. And I just finally reached that moment that you have to reach, or that bottom that you have to reach, where you're just like, I'm so tired of feeling like shit. I'm so tired of being overweight. I'm so tired of being miserable. I'm so tired of just you can't lift the boats anymore. And the body's just giving out. It's just like, fuck you, man. We're not doing this with you anymore. And so I finally reached a breaking point. I read the book Presto by Penn Jillette. It turns out one of my friends knew Cray Ray from the book, who advised Penn Jillette on how to lose 100 pounds. And I immediately cold turkey quit Mountain Dew, quit eating out all the time to the fast foods. I did keep the vodka, which I probably shouldn't have done in hindsight, but baby steps. And I switched to just all organic green salads, fruits and vegetables, and I totally only shopped in the fresh produce area and ignored the dead aisles. And I learned some different games and mentality. If it's in your house, it's in your mouth, so you can't do Faustian bargains with the Oreo bag at the store. And you stay out of those aisles. I mean, I learned you just don't go down the chip and pop aisle and the candy aisle. And so it changed my life. I lost 100 pounds literally within almost 4 months.
And your brain probably really improved, because if you're not eating NutraSweet...
Well, let's not push it, Let's not push it for this old brain.
If you're not eating NutraSweet or Splenda or the things that cause your brain to go foggy, NutraSweet, it forms into formaldehyde in your brain. They wonder why we have Alzheimer's. That's why we have Alzheimer's. That and sodium nitrates in our lunch meat. The sodium nitrates are just horrible for your brain. There is a cure for Alzheimer's. It's a very simple cure. You just take a tablespoon of coconut oil every morning, and you won't ever get dementia or Alzheimer's.
Really? Is there studies and data on that?
Yes, there's studies. Mary T. Newport, she had a husband that was way far gone on Alzheimer's. And she took him to be tested to see if he could test for this medicine. And he was so bad that they wouldn't even allow him in the study. So she said, "What are you using?" And then they said, "Medium chain triglycerides." And she goes, "Well, that's just coconut oil." And they said, "Yes, that's exactly what it is." So she took him home. She gave him coconut oil every day for 6 months. He could tie his shoes. He could put his clothes on. He could make coffee. He could do everything he wanted to do after 6 months of being on coconut oil. She took him back, and they put him in the study again. They put him in the study because he was good enough to do it. But it was the coconut oil that brought him back. I myself had problems in my 50s. My parents were going through both dementia and Alzheimer's. And it was, what a horrible disease. And I started in on the coconut oil after reading her research and said, man, this is right. So I am on coconut oil every morning. And if I forget 2 days, I know. I can tell. So this is something that needs to be in your diet. You can also use it in pie crust. It's really great to make pie crust with instead of Crisco or butter or lard. Just use coconut oil. It's great.
Yeah.
It works really
It's great
good.
in coffee, too. It makes coffee really good.
Yeah,
if you buy really high quality, I think you have to buy really high quality coconut oil, though. The real virgin. Really?
You just buy the organic coconut oil at Kroger.
Okay.
It's $5. I mean,
I guess if you get the organic.
Yeah, if you get the organic, it's not going to have anything bad in it. The ingredient list says coconut oil. So that's what you need. And I'm amazed that people don't know this. They think they have to put up with Alzheimer's. You don't. Because I am sharp as a tack, and I'm 71 years old. And I'm like, wow, this stuff really works. So I make sure I take a dose every day.
Now, your experience comes as being a farmer, correct?
My parents had 2 acres of gardens that we did every day. The children got up and you went out and picked whatever was ripe, whatever was coming on. Oh yeah, every morning. And my mom would stay back with one of us and can or process the food. And that's where I learned how to process food. I have my own gardens now. And I have my own chickens, and it's kind of like a little cycle, goes round and round, but it works really well. I can all my food, or I freeze all my food so that I have it to eat. But I also go to the store. I go to Aldi's, but because they have food from Europe.
Oh, really?
And I like the food from Europe. I like Belgian chocolate, and I like, the chicken stuff. They have chicken sausages, so you don't have to eat pork. My husband is prone to gout because his mom had gout really bad. So we don't have any pork. We don't eat pork. But we eat beef, and we eat chicken, and we eat fish, and we eat all the other things. But we don't eat pork because when he eats it, he has this. It goes right into gout in his feet or his elbows.
Oh, yeah.
And so, the thing to fix that, if you do have gout, is to eat black cherries. They'll take it away in just a night, or black cherry juice. Drink it, and it'll be gone the next morning. But you don't want to keep doing that, so we just don't eat pork. We just don't eat it.
Yeah, pork can be really, I don't know, I have a hard time with it too, especially sausage. I don't know if it's all the rat tails they put in it. No, that's an old thing they used to do in the 1800s.
Well, if you've ever looked at a pork, if you ever looked at a pig's stomach, they only have one stomach. So whatever they eat comes back right into their meat immediately, whereas a cow has 4 stomachs, and they have a huge digestion process. So you're not getting it right away. It's kind of filtered out. And pigs will even eat you if given a chance. So I don't think I want to deal with those. And they stink too, really bad.
Yeah. Well, they're always rolling in their own poo. So
yeah, they are.
It's kind of like what I do on Fridays. Anyway, it's a callback joke. So in your book, what are some other tips and tricks that you recommend people? It sounds like you explain the problem with the FDA. I've seen a few different the movie documentaries, like I think Food Incorporated.
Yeah, Food.Inc. is amazing. I also looked at Baggett. And in the middle of Baggett, this movie is really long, but in the middle of Baggett, it says the microplastics actually cause gender confusion. And this is what's going on with our young people. We have microplastics in all of our water and all of our food now. And this is what's causing that big gender confusion that's going on with our kids. So I have a filter underneath my sink. That's the first thing you need to do, is get a canister filter underneath your kitchen sink so that you are not drinking the water. You are drinking filtered water that filters out 7,000 chemicals. A Dalton water filter is really simple to get. You only have to change the filter once a year. It makes sense to me. It works really well. Another thing you need to look at is bread. BREAD. Everyone eats bread. And if you look at the ingredient list on bread, it is so astronomical that you need to sit there with your phone and put it in your phone. What is this? What is this? What does it do to your body? You have a computer in your hand. There's no reason to eat bread that you're not sure what's in it.
Yeah.
And when they put azobicarbonate in the bread, that was to puff up the bread to make it look pretty so they would sell more. But they knew it caused asthma in children. They knew, and they did it anyway. And our asthma rates went up 500% the next year. And if you do this in Asia, they'll put you in jail for 14 years and give you a $250,000 fine.
Really?
Yeah, really.
That's crazy.
And we're doing it to our kids. We are giving our kids asthma when we give them bread with azobicarbonate. And it's AZO-BI carbon. Mm-hmm. That's all you need. If you see that AZO, you know that's what's in it. And it's just a travesty. I was just amazed. Also, the autism rates have gone from 1 in 78 to 1 in 12.
Didn't we just figure out that Tylenol?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
We just got announced that Tylenol is the problem.
More than just Tylenol. Babies are being born with cancer. How can a baby get cancer? The only way they can get cancer is through what their mother ate. There's no way they can develop cancer when they're in vitro. That doesn't make sense. So we know that it is in the food, and we need to correct that Roundup out of our food supply. And we would have to go back. They literally force Big Ag to buy all these. And Monsanto makes them buy the seed fresh every year, Monsanto seed, and it's all inoculated. And it's with all of our base crops. So we cannot afford to keep eating Roundup with these cancer rates. That's what's going on.
But Roundup gives it that spicy taste.
No, it does not. You can't
that
taste
seasoning.
Well, it doesn't taste very good. In fact, if
makes
you go
my
to
tongue
Europe
glow.
And eat, if you go to Europe and eat, you'll say, "Wow, this food tastes so good. How come this food tastes so good and ours in America tastes so lousy?" I've had people that have been stationed over in Europe, and they come home and they get out of the military and they come to my tea table and say, "What can I take? The food tastes horrible. My stomach's a mess. I need something for IBS. I need something for this." And I'm like, okay, that's why I started selling teas to combat what is in our food, because the food is just so horrendous. But the book also teaches you how to get around it. It doesn't just complain about it. It actually teaches you how to eat clean. And things like lunch meat. Everybody ate lunch meat when I was a kid. We all ate sodium nitrates. We didn't think anything about it. But I know it caused Alzheimer's in my parents. I saw them go down that path. And I don't want that for myself. So instead, I just roast my meat. I roast chicken, I roast beef, and then I just cut it off and make a sandwich. What's so hard? I also have recipes for tuna salad and egg salad and chicken salad in the book, so that if you want to have that on hand, it'll be like having lunch meat, because you can put it right on your sandwich and go. Yeah. There's ways to get around it.
Some of those lunch meat things, they're kind of mystery Franken meat too. We were joking pre-show about how the judge in the chicken McNuggets McDonald's lawsuit called their meat Franken meat because it was an assemblage of just dead tissue and God knows what and everything else put into it. So, I mean, I just try and stick with wholesome chicken now and get good chicken and plain.
Yeah, plain. Just roasted chicken. It's not that hard. You put it, rub it down with some garlic, salt, and pepper, and put it in the oven and roast it for an hour. You're done. Then you're done for the whole week. You can eat 3 different meals out of that throughout the week. That's another thing I put in the book, successive cooking, meaning you roast a chicken, you have it the first day, the next day you roast a big piece of beef. And then the next time you just make a chicken divan. And the next night you make roast beef and noodles. So there's a sequence to using your meat, so you're not stuck with a whole chicken and not know what to do. What do I do with this? How do I don't want to keep eating sandwiches over and over. So it gives you recipes so that you can successively eat different things each night.
What are the 5 evils in our food supply? I believe you talk about that in the book.
The 5 evils in our food supply. Roundup is the first one, which causes cancer. Diabetes, Alzheimer's, blood pressure, and autism. Those are the 5 diseases that are chronic diseases.
Yeah.
And the things that are in our food supply provide these wonderful chronic diseases for us.
What about artificial sweeteners? What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, the 5 evils are glyphosate, preservatives, additives, pesticides, and chemicals. And you asked me for aspartame. The artificial sweeteners are deadly. They're deadly to your brain. I had a friend named Rick who was a computer whiz. He taught computers at the high school here for years and years, and all of a sudden he was drinking Diet Coke, a whole liter, 2 liters of Diet Coke a day.
Jesus.
And his wife told him, this is really bad because it's got NutraSweet in it. I told him it was really bad. He's got NutraSweet in it. He finally saw it on TV and said, oh, this is really bad.
Oh, this is really bad.
We're like, yeah, Rick, it's really bad, because his brain was just so foggy, he couldn't think. So he gave up his wonderful Diet Coke. He was very overweight. And that's another thing Diet Coke does to you. It makes your brain think you didn't get enough to eat. So you overeat, and then you gain more and more weight. So he gave it up, and he went to iced tea. He lost 80 pounds, and his brain works great today. Yeah. Because he's not drinking Diet Coke. It is one of the deadliest things, and it causes pancreatic cancer. All soda pop causes pancreatic cancer because of the aspartame or the NutraSweet or the Splenda that is in it. It is really bad for your body. It's really bad for your pancreas, because once you get pancreatic cancer, they just send you home. They don't have anything to fix it. So that is another thing in my book is Renee Cassia. She got a recipe from an OBGYN Indian in the 1800s. And she had a clinic and had a cancer clinic. And when they sent people home just to die because they couldn't do anything else, they would come to her clinic and get healed. Her own mother was on the Essiac tea for 3 months. It's completely obliterated the tumors in her breast. She had breast cancer. She lived another 30 years after having breast cancer. So that is what goes on. And the AMA shut her down because they didn't want her to give away the cancer treatment for free.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. The greed.
That's wild.
Yeah,
That's
Big Pharma and the FDA, Food and Drugs, should that be in the same house?
No.
I don't think so. Food doesn't belong with drugs, but they're in the same house. And they put stuff in the food so that Big Pharma can gain more money, so they can get more money out of your pocket. It's sinister. It is.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the people
what they're doing to us.
I think they elect lobbyists or people from Monsanto and other places too to put on the FDA and their food regulations. So there's a real what's that, conflict of interest sort of thing there.
To say the least. One of the things that has done this for us for the last 50 years is we have something in the United States called the sub-PAC money. And sub-PAC money comes from the big food corporations and from the Big Pharma. And they give the money to the people who are going to be elected into Congress or being elected president. We have not had a president elected without sub-PAC money for 50 years. But we did this time. President Trump did not take any sub-PAC money, so he's not beholden to them. So we can change this now, and we need to change this now, because our children and grandchildren are suffering. They're not going to be as healthy, and they're telling us that the broccoli, the foods that you are getting at the supermarket do not have the same nutrient level as you do if you raise it in a garden, or a farmer raises it, a small farmer raises it for you. Farmers markets are wonderful. Just ask your farmer what kind of pesticides was used so you know how to wash them off. That's what's really going on in the United States. The sub-PAC money has kept this food industry pushing for more and more pesticides and more Roundup.
And as they've killed off the farmers, it's, the industrial machine is running, and it's really bad too. I mean, we're seeing meat prices soar because there's so few competing vendors. There's no competition in the market enough because they've destroyed so many farmers and independent farmers. I live down the block from an independent farm that does it's the water-based farming where they hydroponic, because we live in Utah where you have snow most of the year and coldness, so it's really hard to grow. But they have indoor hydroponic farms, and I got to tell you, that food, the lettuce, the salads, everything I get from the farm, it lasts so much longer, and it's so much more greener and richer. You just look at the lettuce, you go, I want to eat that. That looks rich. The colors are healthy and green. You buy a head of lettuce from the grocery store, and it looks like just a dead piece of lettuce. It's just this pale green color, and the difference is palpable. And then the other thing is this lettuce I'll buy from the store, I might die off in a few days. The lettuce I have from the farm will last like 2 weeks.
Yes.
Because it's so live and so rich and so fresh. The other shit came off a boat or something. It took 4 weeks to get here.
It takes, and also my book goes into what lectins are. And when we're shipping all that fruit coming out of Chile in the winter, and then they stick it in a room with ethylene gas, which ethylene gas is not harmful, but it turns everything the color we expected, like bananas yellow and plums red and grapes whatever. So what happens is the outside turns the color, but it doesn't destroy the lectins inside. So the lectins is something that the plant produces so you won't eat it green, because it'll make your stomach hurt. Just like when I was a kid, we had grapevines at my grandparents' house, and us kids would go to the grapevines and we'd get the grapes and eat them, and then our stomachs would hurt because the lectins in the grapes made our stomachs hurt because we weren't supposed to eat them until they turned purple. Once they turn purple, that all dissolves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So lectins. I'm seeing here that some lectins can trigger an immune response because they don't have enzymatic activity, so you can't digest them. Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, lectins. Dr. Gumdry is the one who is pushing the lectins, and I thought about all the fruit that's being shipped from Chile, and that's that's a long process to get all the way to Ohio, and I know they put it in ethylene glass. If they don't put the bananas in ethylene glass, you can't even eat them. They're just hard as a rock. They have to do it for them. But the things that we eat, like tomatoes, if they've done that to those, it'll slice up your intestines. It'll give you leaky gut syndrome. That's like putting poop into your bloodstream. And you can get really super sick off of that. So what I do is I get my stuff at the farmer's market, I process it, I freeze it. I went berry picking with my sister this year and got a ton of blackberries. I'll make that into jam because I'll be able to eat it in the winter. But it won't have any lectins in it because it was picked right. Another thing, all frozen food is picked at the peak of freshness. So there are no lectins in frozen food.
Oh.
And that's a thing you can eat. You can go and get your frozen food and not have to worry about lectins because they don't do that to them. They process them the same day. When they pick the food, they process it and freeze it the same day. And you don't have to worry about that. So you can always eat frozen food.
Huh. So what are some other aspects maybe at your book that we haven't touched on that we should tease out to people?
Let's see. Food for Alzheimer's, lectins. Oh, and you want to hear the evils of McDonald's?
Sure, yeah. Let's get into that. We talked
the evil
about
of McDonald's. The bread has azobicarbonate in it. They tried to get them to take azobicarbonate of that. Subway and Panera both took azobicarbonate out of their bread, but McDonald's refused to. So not only do you have 3 times Roundup in your bun, you've got azobicarbonate causing asthma in your children too. Their meat is dated with pink slime, and that's called ammonia. Yeah, the ammonia that you scrub your floor with, That's in the meat at McDonald's because they had to put it in because Jack in the Box had somebody die because the mixture of all the different cows that are in the meat causes a bacteria that can really kill you quick. Mayonnaise has EDTA in it. Do you have any idea what EDTA is?
No, I don't.
It is an embalming fluid preservative.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Is that why those burgers last forever if you leave them out?
Every can of mayonnaise, every jar of mayonnaise that's on the shelf has EDTA in it. And when I learned this, it just made me sick. So I learned how to make mayonnaise really quick. It's 2 eggs and oil and some spices. It's not hard to make. It will last 6 weeks in your refrigerator. And you won't have to eat this embalming fluid preservative. Their French fries has a monitor on them. Monitor is a chemical that kills the little aphids that make brown stripes going up the potatoes. They didn't want those brown stripes in there. So they have a farmer in Nevada growing these potatoes. And they have to go in the field and spray the plants with Monitor, but they have to wear a respirator when they do it. And they can't go back in the field for a couple of weeks because it's so bad for your respiratory system. When they put them in the big warehouse to store them in order to ship them to McDonald's, you can't go in there either for 6 weeks because the Monitor is still present in the potatoes. And they're feeding these to our kids.
Wow. Yeah. A lot of the McDonald's stuff and food now is designed in labs to give us that dopamine hit, to basically create an addiction. And it's genetically designed to get us addicted to it. Just like an opioid or, any other harmful drug that, you get addicted to those dopamine hits. Yeah. And since you're not really getting nutrition, there was that guy who did that McDonald's thing? Remember he ate McDonald's for 30 days? Yeah. He ended up dying early too. So I don't know about that. But he had I think a mild heart attack or stroke. But he was eating the food and he goes, I don't know why I'm eating as much McDonald's as I want, but I'm still hungry afterwards. And one thing I realized from watching that is that's not nutrition. It's just like
vacuous
calories, yeah. And so your body's just sitting there going, you fed us some junk food, but we don't have anything to fuel the machine with here, buddy. And so, that's really what I look for. When I go to the store, a friend taught me this. He goes, look at how a store is comprised. So all the fresh food is on the outside of the store. Mm-hmm. And the reason it's on the outside of the store is because they have to restock it often because it goes bad, right? If the tomato doesn't sell for a couple of days, they're going to toss it out. Everything is fresh on the outside of the store. And then if you look at how a store is built, the closer you move to the middle, the deader the food is. So in the middle of most stores is the frozen food aisles, right? The pizzas and whatever sort of nasty consumptions they come up with, TV dinners and ice cream and all that sort of stuff. And so he goes, just look at it. So he goes, what you do is when you go to the store, only go down the aisles of the things that you want to put in your body and don't go down the other aisles. So I will literally mentally block out and never go down the candy aisle, the pop aisle, the chips aisle, the frozen food aisles. I will avoid them like the plague. And I try to only stick to live foods, which are found in the produce department. And I try to stick to that. Now, I eat some junk food. I eat fries and stuff like that. But I pretty much will try and eat good, healthy foods. And that was some of the best knowledge I have because, you don't come home with the Oreo bag if you don't go down the Oreo aisle. And you don't play that Frosty isn't bargain. And, of course, one of the other tidbits I learned that was really important, if it's in your house, it's in your mouth. So don't bring it home. We all do that Faustian bargain with ourselves. We're like, if I bring home the 6-pack of Mountain Dew and the chip bag and the Oreo bag, I promise I will only eat 2 Oreos a day and 1 can of pop. Ooh, and it's just a bullshit game. If it's in your house, it's in your mouth. You're going to eat it, and you get some hunger pains, or you want to eat emotionally maybe or something. You're going to go for that junk, that dopamine hit.
that don't.
And
Another thing you need to know is about the oils.
Mm.
The oils, when they did all the plant oils, meaning corn oil, vegetable oil, and all those, they have actually taken those oils and heated them up to extreme heat in order to get the oil out of the seed.
Mm-hmm.
And those are deadly for you. And they put those on all the chips. All the chips have that hydrogenized soybean oil or whatever. And those are really bad for you. One of the things you need to do is switch to coconut oil, plain olive oil, or extra virgin olive oil. Or in a lot of cases, if you just want flavor, just use butter.
Yeah.
But don't use corn oil. Don't use vegetable oil. Don't use any of those oils because they are extremely bad for you because they also have Roundup in the seed. Yeah. And then they're putting them in high heat and then serving you that and
I usually when I make my food, I just spray a little Roundup on it, just to give it that extra seasoning when it's finished.
Yeah, sure.
Give it that Michelin restaurant finish, just like it's been run over with a car from Michelin tires. So if any things you want to talk about, any consulting or coaching or any other services that you want to plug while you're on the show?
One of the things I started doing was I started harvesting my backyard weeds. They are really good for you. I have stinging nettle, and that is super good for arthritis. And my family, my sisters and my grandmother, her hands were literally locked. She used to have to dial the phone with her thumb. And I started doing this because I found out all these weeds are actually plants that can give you health and nutrition through drinking tea. I have a nectarine tree. It's so funny how I got it. It rolled off, one of the organic nectarines rolled off a box that I was cleaning for produce and planted itself in the yard. Nectarine tea is really good for your eyes. It prevents macular degeneration in your eyes. My mother had that the last 8 years of her life, so I am drinking nectarine tea every day. I'm drinking stinging nettle every day. I'm also drinking red clover. The red clover is really good for osteoporosis. It just disseminates it. It is really great for you. So I have 40 different teas that I sell at the farmer's market for all kinds of things. I have a diabetic tea. I have a blood pressure tea. I have all kinds. I have a detox tea to detox all this junk out of your system. And people come to me and say, well, what can I get for this or what can I get for that? There's a tea for every single thing. And one of the things I recently saw was there are 15 teas that fight cancer. 15, and one of them is black tea and the other one is green tea. I was amazed at how many different teas actually fight cancer. And you don't have to drink them hot. You can make them cold and have a drink that's really good. So that's what I've been doing with my time in the last few years.
Can people order that stuff from you? Can people order that stuff from you? Yeah. So how do they get in touch with you to order that?
Oh, just give them my email address.
Okay.
Or give them my phone number. Most of them just call me and leave a message. Hey, I need nectarine tea, And I'll say, okay, we'll meet up and here you go. It's not very expensive.
We can post that on the website. Do you want to give it out over the air?
Yeah, we can give it out. The
email, maybe?
The email is my name, Merrill Rounds at gmail.com. That is, and the reason I did that was because I ran a produce co-op for a long time, and I didn't want people getting mixed up with numbers and letters and everything. So I just made it as simple as possible. So it's just MERRILLROUNDS, all lowercase at gmail.com. They want to order tea. That's not.
I drink Roundup tea. That's what I do.
You do
not. We do the joke. So don't do that, folks.
I've got my whole backyard is all organic. We have been organic. We've been here 19 years now, and it is totally organic. The whole thing. I don't use any pesticides or anything. I use vinegar, and I use DM earth. And sometimes I'll use 7 if I have to kill bees. Other than that, you're not going to find anything but neem oil and all the other things that people use when they're organic.
Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Sure, I am thrilled to be here.
Thrilled
I
to
know
have you as well.
the book is only $12, and
Mhm.
it's only 60 pages to read. So it's a really quick read, but it is chock full of how to get around eating Roundup. Because this just kills me that we are still putting Roundup in all of our base crops. It
It's just so
is
insane.
not right. It's just not right.
Yeah, it's so insane.
You know, they tested it on mice and rats because they have the same internal organs we do, and the male rats never reached adulthood. Their hearts exploded within them, and the females could not give live birth. And they had trouble getting pregnant, and they could not give live birth. This is one of the biggest problems in the United States. Our girls can't get pregnant without IVF. And I'm like, oh, this is horrible. And it's from the Roundup. I know it is. And I'm like, we have got to change this.
I know there's a lot of estrogenics in our food, too, that are fucking with people.
Yes.
So it's giving girls periods at 9 instead of 12, and it's eating men's testosterone, which means male testosterone's dropping, and everything's going to hell. So, but yeah, it's what you put in your body. I can tell you. I mean, I quit drinking alcohol in 2020. One of the best decisions I ever make. When you really study what you're doing to yourself when you drink it, is you're poisoning yourself. And yeah, it's kind of fun when you're young, but even then, I wish I would have given that shit up sooner. And I actually didn't drink a lot in my 20s to 30s. I started drinking in my 30s, and but just getting rid of that, it's so nice to wake up every day. Every now and then, I'll get a caffeine. I drink a lot of espresso. Every now and then, I'll get a caffeine withdrawal. And I'll get like that same sort of brain hangover headache that you would get with alcohol. And I'm like, holy shit, I used to live that way every day. No way. Like, why would I want to do that? So take care of your body, people. And your body will thank you, man. Your body will respond and be like, thanks for not poisoning us today. We really appreciate that.
Well,
and it'll help your gut health too.
You know that pharma means witchcraft.
Does it really?
Yeah, that's what it means.
Huh.
Pharma means witchcraft.
Interesting.
That's the Greek. That's
Big Pharma?
The meaning of it. Big Pharma, it's witchcraft. Yeah. They're just experimenting on you. You're the guinea pig. You gonna let them do it? No, I'm not gonna let them do it to me. But I'm not on any medications. Neither is my husband. We don't do vaccines. We don't do any medications. They want to put them every time you go to the doctor. They want you to take this or they want you to take that. We're like, no, we don't need that. We'll just do some tea.
The concept of pharma witchcraft stems from contemporary interpretation of the Greek word pharmakia, which is translated as sorcery or witchcraft in the New Testament in the Bible. Well, I never even heard about that, but maybe. Yeah.
Now you know. Now you know.
Well, I mean, if you have the right drug dealer, it is kind of witchcraft, but I'm just kidding, folks. Don't do that. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for coming to the show, Merrill. We really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And thanks for tuning in. Order the book wherever fine books are sold, called The Lies, the Truth, and the Food We Eat, out July 22nd, 2025. Thanks for tuning in. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you guys next time. And that should have a